It's winter here in Southern California, which means cold and flu viruses are everywhere. That combined with the busy holiday season can be a total recipe for disaster. But not if you use food as medicine. Welcome to Kat's Vegan Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you my 3 favorite recipes to keep that immune system healthy and happy throughout the winter. Remember, the full written recipes for all of the 3 recipes I'm going to show you today can always be found in the description below, and you can also find longer and more detailed versions of these recipes on my YouTube channel, Kat's Vegan Kitchen. The first recipe I'm going to talk about is my grandmother's chicken soup made vegan. This soup is nourishing and comforting, and it's loaded with vitamin C and vitamin A, which have been shown to boost immunity. Vitamin C might even help lower the duration of colds and flu, and vitamin C and A together help keep your skin healthy, which is really important during those winter months where your skin gets really dried out. The onions in this recipe combined with the vitamin C are anti-inflammatory, which helps keep our whole body healthy. Let's show you how to make this recipe. Start by melting 1 tablespoon of plant-based butter with 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Then we're going to add in 1 to 1.5 handfuls of pine nuts, and we're going to let those brown in the butter and olive oil mixture just till they're toasted. This gives this a Middle Eastern flair. Once those are toasted up, we're going to add in our chopped veggies. We're going to add in 1 stalk of chopped celery, 4 chopped carrots, and 1 cup of chopped yellow onion. We're going to saute those veggies until the carrots start to get bright and the onion starts to get translucent, about 5 minutes. Once those veggies are cooked, we're going to add in our favorite plant-based chicken. I love Tofurky brand for this recipe. Alpha chicken strips also work really well, and sometimes I'll even just crumble in tofu. Stir that all up to combine it really well. To that, we're going to add in 6 cups of plant-based chicken broth. Mix it all really well, and now it's time to add in our spices. We're going to add in a pinch or 2 of allspice, a shake or 2 of allspice, 1/2 a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a dash of salt and pepper. Now we're going to mix that really well, and we're going to let it simmer partially covered for about 30 minutes till our veggies get nice and tender. After about 30 minutes, I'm going to add in 1/4 to 1/2 cup of rinsed white rice. I'm going to stir the rice in really well and let it cook covered for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then I'm going to turn off the heat and let the rice cook the rest of the way. So you're going to need to let it sit for another good 10 minutes. Once the soup has sit and the rice has cooked down, you're going to finish it off by adding in a 1/2 head of fresh parsley. Don't skip this step, it adds a really beautiful flavor. Then it's time to serve up this beautiful, delicious chicken soup and enjoy it. The next recipe is a white bean and kale soup. This white bean soup is loaded with nutrients like vitamin A and vitamin E and vitamin C, and it has a ton of garlic. Garlic is anti-inflammatory and antibacterial. This soup is a total nutrient powerhouse. It's said that kale is the most nutrient-dense food on the planet. So not only is this good for your immune system, it's good for your heart and your entire body, including your eyes. This soup is so delicious and warming, and it's a total crowd pleaser. Let me show you how to get this one going. I'm going to show you how to make 2 versions of this delicious soup. One is simpler and one is a little heartier. We're going to start by adding 1 to 2 tablespoons of avocado oil to our soup pot or Dutch oven. Then we're going to add in 4 cloves of finely chopped garlic, and we are going to saute that just until it's fragrant, which is about 30 to 60 seconds. Be really careful, you don't want to burn your garlic. After that, we're going to add in a pinch of red pepper flakes and 1 teaspoon of fresh oregano. You can also use dried oregano, but you would use about half as much. Fresh oregano adds a beautiful flavor.
Saute that with your oil for about 30 seconds. Next, we're going to add in a good bunch or a bunch and a half of kale. We're going to chop that really fine and add it into our garlic and herb mixture. Then we're going to toss to coat and let it wilt down a little bit. Once our greens start to wilt a little bit, we're going to add in 4 to 6 cups of vegan chicken broth. I always use Better Than Bouillon vegan chicken broth because the broth you use really influences the flavor of your soup, and Better Than Bouillon is just simply the best. To this, we're going to add in 1 can of white beans. I like to use cannellini beans or butter beans because of their rich buttery flavor. Make sure you rinse them if you're using canned beans. Our last ingredient for this soup is going to be the juice of 1 lemon. That's going to be the end of version 1 soup. For this soup, we would just simmer it for about 20 minutes over medium-low heat and then serve it up. But if we want a heartier version of this soup, we can add in a can of diced or crushed tomatoes. These add in a ton of lycopene, and vitamin C, and both of those things are good for your immune system, but lycopene is also great for your mood. Then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of small dried pasta, a small type like shells or maybe elbows. We're going to add in an additional cup of veggie broth if our soup starts to look dry. We're going to make sure that is simmering at a low rolling boil so our pasta can cook, and we're going to cook it for about 10 to 20 minutes until our vegetables are tender and our pasta is cooked. This is a heartier version of the soup. They're both really delicious and healthy for you.
This kale and white bean salad is one of my very favorite quick recipes. It can be whipped up in like 15 minutes. It's loaded with fiber and healthy fats to keep you satiated throughout the day. Like the other recipes, it's loaded with vitamin C and A to keep your immune system healthy. But this is a real powerhouse because of the pumpkin seeds in it and the kale and the tomatoes. So not only does it boost your immunity, it keeps your whole body healthy. It even fights off big diseases like cancer and heart disease. Let me show you how you can whip this up in 15 minutes so you have a satisfying lunch throughout the entire week.
We're going to start by rinsing 1 can of white beans really well. I like to use Great Northern beans. Once our beans are rinsed, we're going to squeeze the juice of 1 whole lemon into our beans. After that, we're going to add in about a teaspoon or a 1/2 teaspoon of really good quality olive oil. Then we're going to add in some fresh herbs. I like to cut my herbs with scissors to save a little bit of time. To this, I'm going to add in about 1/4 cup of fresh basil and 1/2 to 1 tablespoon of fresh oregano. Oregano is really strong, so if you're not used to it, start with a smaller amount first. If you don't have fresh herbs, you can use dried herbs. Just check my written recipe for how you make the adjustment. Mix that up really well. I like to add in a dash of garlic salt to the bean and herb mixture. Next, we're going to take 4 to 5 leaves of any kind of kale, and we're just going to strip them off the veins with our hands. After that, I'm going to rip the kale into bite-sized pieces. We want them to be about this size. Now it's time to massage our kale. We're going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of olive oil and a dash of smoked salt or any kind of garlic salt or other salt. Then we're going to massage our kale with our fingers for about a minute. Massaging the kale makes it easier to digest and to absorb the nutrients, and it also gives it a better flavor. Kale is one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, and some people say they don't like it, but I think it's because they haven't had it prepared well. Next, we're going to chop up about 1/2 to 1 cup of cherry tomatoes. I'm only making about 1 to 2 servings of this salad because it whips up so quickly, but if you want to make it for the whole week, just chop up extra vegetables and store them separately in airtight containers in the refrigerator. Next, I'm going to chop up 1/2 of a ripe avocado. You're not sure how to tell if an avocado is ripe, you press on the bottom of it and your thumb should just gently be able to go in. It should give just a little bit. Now it's time to put our beautiful salad together. We're going to lay down a bed of kale. We're going to add a handful of tomatoes. We're going to add about a half cup of the bean mixture, and we'll store the rest of the beans for more salad later. Then I'm going to add some fresh chopped avocado, which is going to add healthy fat and a delicious creamy flavor. Finally, I'm going to top it with pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds. I also love to top it with a hit of nutritional yeast, which adds a bonus of protein and B12.
There you have 3 of my favorite immunity boosting recipes to keep you healthy and happy all throughout the winter months. If you love these recipes as much as I do, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you never miss a recipe. I'll see you next time on Kat's Vegan Kitchen.